parent here who also wants to address one of the other important aspects of this policy, which is languages. Ma'am, you had a question.
Yeah, good evening, everybody. Ma'am, I'm a parent of a child who is in class 9th this year, and he will be appearing for his board's exam next year. He dropped Hindi and he took French as a 5th subject in his class. Now, all of a sudden, if he has to choose between two languages, and French is what is studying from the 4th standard, and Hindi studied for only 1 year. Now, again, he has to go back to Hindi language. So his board's exams results would definitely affect.
Sudha Acharya, do you want to come in here? You know, like I said, it's going to be case by case, and there are going to be a lot of complications with this language now coming into the mix, where one Indian language is compulsory in 11th and 12th. How are you looking at this?
Yeah, I must come in. I must tell the mother who was talking. 9th class, actually registration is going on. She should not have any apprehension. Her child would be appearing in French only, not going back to Hindi. It is not so sudden, ma'am. It is with English and French and German our students are having. Saying that 11, 12, as we are hearing that two languages, one language and one Indian language, I have my apprehension, because in class 11, 12, children generally they focus on core subjects on which they are going to make their career. So whether it is physics, chemistry, maths, or business studies, economics and accountancy, or philosophy, geography, whatever may be, they are focusing on the core concept, clarity, understanding. We are talking about application part, competency based, and telling them to do two languages will put on pressure definitely.
Right.
Where I have my apprehension, bringing in one more language, and more so Indian language. In case like Delhi, finally we have to limit to English and Hindi, because we are metro cities. There are the classrooms.
But you know, there's a flip side to the language question as well. Arjun Bhadar, if I can just bring you into the conversation very quickly, and I have just 30 seconds on the show. How do you look at this whole compulsory language thing? Do you think it will actually be a good thing for a certain section of students?
So I think it's an interesting point everybody makes, and I think it will impact differently to people in metros versus how it impacts people in rural backgrounds and people who work in study in remote areas where English and Hindi are not the key languages, and there is an added stress of learning an international language, which for them English often is. And so I think it will benefit certainly students who work who are studying in areas where their primary mode of language is the local language in the area. So I think these are all questions that will need to be, and I agree with Dr. Datta. I think they're all jumping the gun here. I think we need to wait to see how this unfolds. And I think every decision that impacts the systemic change will require elements that impact India as a diverse country.
Absolutely. There is no one size that fits all as far as India is concerned when it comes to anything, and certainly not our education system.